Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Riven, or perhaps better known as the reading of Riven. So we're in the middle of reading what is really important information. Like, we can't really beat this game without reading this journal of Gin, the bad guy. But it's way too much dialogue. We spent at least half of last episode reading it and we've still got a few pages. They desperately could have squeezed maybe not even an MP3 audio file on this DVD, because maybe MP3 wasn't around or wasn't capable of being played back when this game came out, but they could have done some kind of short wave file or CD audio file on this, where it would have just been Gin reading some of this stuff out. The other thing is, you could have easily had these notes strewn about throughout the game. That might be a little bit more helpful too, since you kind of do have to be in every scene and find everything anyways. If this was more like, it's a weird reference, but like Slender the Arrival, where notes were just floating everywhere, that would be a good way of breaking this up. Instead, we have broken into Gin's workspace that's not his new workspace, that turns out to be on a different world and a different age, and we're just reading all of it, like front to back. Anyways, we still don't know really the date system, but the best we can tell is that this is the year, this is the month, this is the day. Still very much having trouble reading handwritten words that, with the Scum VM 3 times resolution increased, it's not terrible, but I am sitting 10 feet away looking at a TV screen, so like, I don't know what this is. It says the something traps have, this might be the rebel traps, have been steadily fruitful this year, or maybe it's some kind of fish traps. Maybe this is the name of some kind of fish creature, because there are several creatures in this game that you're supposed to learn about the animals in this game, on top of learning a numbering system, on top of learning their sounds. Apparently the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. So it seems like the islands may have all been connected at one point. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest, no shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract for my pipe, one that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. So he's smoking. Like, this paragraph didn't even matter other than to say the name of this creature. Like, they wrote an entire paragraph here just to tell you the name of this creature in English, which won't probably matter at all. And then it skips 3 months, pretty much 3.5 months. Chemical analysis of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've ever encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I am unaware, perhaps a mine or an uncharted island. So these are the knives. We probably don't need to save pictures of that, but we'll do it anyways. We've seen a giant knife like that. We've seen smaller knives like that. The giant knife is the most confusing one. Why somebody would build that. Note, most of the knives have been found on the southern side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact that they have these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. And then, see, that seemed like another 3 months had passed between that message and that. Let's see. The latest movements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the island has showed, let's see, what does that say? Has showed tremors only, or has the movement of the island has slowed tremendously. My previous estimates predicted that the total collapse is in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures I am uncertain. So this date probably lines right up with the book on that Atris wrote, where Atris was writing into the book of Riven and trying to stabilize the age. And let's see, if we could try and coordinate that and bring up the other book, but I don't really have interest in that. I'm just trying to speed through this. We have a symbol for the new age, so I want to take a picture here. Probably would have been fine because of ScumVM and its snapshot save files, which is not something you would have in the original launcher version of this game. So we're getting an ability that we didn't have. I could have easily had a save file on every single page. Of course, also I can load any of those save files at any point, and we might do some magic at the end of the game and load back into some old save files to get information to then load into the most recent save and have that information fresh on our minds. With the new figures, I am uncertain. I have nearly finished writing the whatever number this is age, which is different than this age. So he's so this might be the number right after this number. So if this was like the 23rd age, if I was just to guess a number, this might be the, well, I suppose this would have to be something different because it's the same symbol twice. I couldn't say this is the 24th age because that wouldn't make much sense. Anyways, whatever this symbol is, and I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to resettle to. Yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. It is possible that it's stable after all. Is it possible it's stable after all? If so, I must discern how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of this age have thus far proven inconclusive. And so you could certainly have written an interesting twist here that this book and everywhere in Riven is actually a stable age, and it's not, we're not actually in Riven right now at all. That's, of the 5 or 6 or 7 MYST games that have come out, a twist where you accidentally got sent to a completely different place would have been a decent twist. That never really happens. Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age. We're in the 5th age, that's the Riven. If so, it would almost certainly be Atris's doing. So, it's also worth mentioning that the 5th age would have been the 5th book that Atris's father Gin ever wrote, which leaves the door open for Atris to spend a significant portion of his life in the 5th age, falling in love with Catherine and all of that. Assuming he's in love with Catherine at all, he does want to save her, but it could be a loveless marriage for all you know. And you don't get too much interaction with Catherine anyways in this series, so nor do you get much with Atris. There's just not too much animation of doors opening and not enough animation of character building cutscenes that you would have preferred to have in a game. Of course, the books, the MYST books that they wrote probably flushed that out quite a bit. I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behaviors of the waters of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe that the remarkable properties of the waters to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I imagine, interesting, without that one word, you wouldn't be certain that there were any microscopic or small creatures at all in the ages of MYST worlds, which is possible because if these worlds are being created, it's likely you wouldn't bother to write in your story that some kind of bacteria existed. I'm imagining a noticeable mobile unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water, whose combined effect, man, all this handwriting, I can't read this, I can't read this, can't read this. A strange force, I can read that. Via surface tension, whose combined effect via surface tension or a stronger force causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Prolonged exposures to extreme heat, for example, a period of extreme boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theses are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature or possible uses. So did I kill a bunch of bacteria boiling that water to get here? Maybe. Probably. Who cares? I don't even think that plays any part in this game, unless I'm just forgetting something. Moving on, an exciting development last night. A squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel agent and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers the flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her. So now like 12 pages into this book, we find out he's captured Catherine. So the idea, I guess, is those giant domes that we found, 3 or 5 of them, are spinning around and charging the linking books. Well, Catherine does it with just the crystal technology that you eventually get a little bit more into as the MYST games go on, but you never really make much head or tails of it. It's really just kind of magic. It's a magic puzzle system. But I mean, honestly, how are you going to scientifically explain the ability to create different dimensions and travel to them without having just a ridiculous amount of unexplainable magic or science? Unless you just put it into a natural creature of some sort, like this animal can make dimensions. Don't ask us how. Obviously, with an explicit deny schematic, she must have brought with her to the age. If only I had. So is Catherine. She's not from Dunny, though. So Catherine is from Riven. She went to Dunny, probably with Atris, and then went back to Riven. She probably traveled back and forth. I mean, MYST is really a game where it seems like people just travel dimensions very willy-nilly all the time. If only I'd had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of the ages and need no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Dunny, regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. And I guess this is supposed to be the gym. It actually doesn't look like any of the other gyms. We'll take a picture of that. And finally, 15 more minutes in, we're done with this book. But you really had to read all that. You're not going to get anywhere in this game otherwise. Let's see. And let's turn around. And the good news is there really isn't going to be. There's like crystals. Here's some kind of flame. Interesting. The water expands and ripples under the flame. And Masterpiece Edition of MYST had a lot of this. Like, quite a lot of this. So that's like the water just moving away. Of these little toys that don't matter. And he just entire drawers of things. Seems like I can only take the top drawer. All kinds of scientific devices. Seems like he's... And the fish. And here's what looks like a book, but you don't have to actually read it. And here's some more frogs. So there's nothing really on that platform. Let's go over here. Here's a tree that's kind of in that 5-star shape too. Tons of more books. One assumes it's all failed ages. Some kind of tool. A vice. Part of the problem with their concept, science concept of making a game with a bunch of just random, unimportant stuff, is it just takes production focus away from polishing and making the important things look good. Let's see, there's this internal device. And what's here? A burnt book. Which, I mean, we should, just for giggles, let's come way up here to the save file. And I bet our save file time is off by quite a bit now because I've took a break and, yeah, playtime 20 hours. Yeah, 12 of those at least were not actual playtime. Let's see if this burnt broken book will actually let us travel to there. Nope. Nope, I didn't think it would. Destroying parts of the book, even the binding and such, of any kind of linking book seems to definitely destroy the link. Only if you're doing something like Atris's trick of slightly changing things. Let's see this. This is the door, so we've made that easier on ourselves. But then the question becomes, why do you need a button? Like, why do you need a button? And this is a different direction. So there's two paths we can go to. There's this way with a button that seems to do nothing. All of these buttons kind of seem to do nothing. They seem to be resetting. And then there's this door. Maybe I clicked the button once and that will unlock something. And we've got some new vehicle that I did not recall there being a new vehicle. And I want to be kind of careful still. I don't want to accidentally miss something. These are the hovercraft vehicles as they're being described. Interesting, the audio of the door, like, they could have sped that up. I wouldn't call this really a hovercraft. It doesn't seem like it's hovering at all. Maybe it is. So we're going to a new area. Maybe my estimates of having seen 87% of this world already was a little high. Honestly, now that I'm finding some parts that I don't recall, like I really don't recall this section of the game. For a second there, I thought I was going to get a cutscene. Graphics don't quite look as good. And then there's a door over there. And I'm filled with a little bit of uncertainty walking down here. I feel like I might trigger something, but I don't really need to be afraid of that either, because that's not how a MYST game would play. There's not going to be the old Sierra point-and-click adventure style gameplay where you accidentally kill yourself just by doing something very normal and realistic. This is interesting. It's an island of some sort, built out of a tree that had been damaged. Yeah, and I really have no idea who I'm gonna find in this house. Wow. I have to start to question, did I ever even play this game to completion? Interesting. This is a passage. There's a way down. Mostly, I guess I'm looking for the balls that make the sounds and have the numbers. This seems like this would easily be Gin's house if previously was Gin's laboratory, so his house would like directly connect to his laboratory and still give him the isolation that he seems to always desire. Yes, there's definitely room here for better writing to show Gin as his main flaws is a lack of willingness to just be a part of any society. And then you've got these kind of, are these trees or is this dirt? Is this just all carved out to his specifications? And sometimes you can look up if there's something obviously up to look at. It seems like these are taps on a tree. And I'm moving like 2 steps each time, which is probably not the smartest move in the world. Then turning around. So, how does one go up in this elevator? Here's a button. A lot of cracks. And am I supposed to just squeeze through there? And I guess I am. And there's a path back that way too. Are we gonna have an actual puzzle? Seriously, is this an actual puzzle designed around what we saw before? I think it is. Alright. So each of these shapes are buttons. And if we were to go to the save, I think if we're, let's see, here we have this grid and that and that, and the pictures, the snapshots aren't that big. It's a kind of a shame, but it's not terrible either. So the biggest 12 piece seems like it might be the first thing. We've got to just click on things, so let's go with the biggest. And this is adding heat to the water and getting the water pumped up. And that's down now. It's kind of weird, these dots are here to just kind of make that obvious. Let's just hit everything. It's like pumping the water from one to the other. And the weird thing is I think we probably do have the solution to this already. But maybe I don't. It's some very slow animations here. Very, very slow animations. Alright. One kind of assumes that we would do that same thing over and over again. So let's say it's this one piece. Then the next piece is the 5 piece. If we're gonna go in different directions, which I think that's what we need to do. So it should be this, then I believe this, and let's see. I guess what we could do is really cheat ourselves and just load the game. It's not like it matters. So load. This is where we are. Come back here, load to this point. So I'm thinking we start here, then we do this, which is 5 pieces, then 4 pieces, then L bracket, then the big one. So that seems like that's where we're supposed to do it. Now we gotta get back to where we were. Loading is pretty easy. So we start here, we go to this one, and if I hadn't seen that pattern, I probably would still try this within the first 30 or 40 attempts of a pattern, just because you start with the smallest things and then go in kind of a snake-like pattern to try and get the water to build up to, I assume, overflow into that hole in the middle. And this is a more simplistic puzzle than what the combination lock is, where you really aren't going to be able to brute force that at all. The flaw here still is you don't know what's going to happen. You have no clue. Is it a good thing that whatever's going to happen is going to happen? Is it a bad thing? Is it something that's useful at all? Am I just playing with a larger version of a toy? And what occurs? Maybe nothing occurs, regardless of the order you put it on. Is the idea that that giant gold dome that we saw way on the other island is pumping this water? If that's the case, like, that's pretty disconnected. My only other thought would be to turn this the other direction and go in opposite circles. Are each of these rocks supposed to represent an island? Perhaps? Is that what I'm not getting? Am I doing something that to these islands that doesn't... Like, am I actually changing the oceans? I don't know. It seems like I didn't trigger anything. And my only other thought would be to go backwards. Is the big crater lake where we were? If this is supposed to be a map of all of Riven, it's pretty impossible for me to figure that out. It's... we've not been able to get an upper view of Riven enough to think for a second that that's the case. Is the split that we walked down the crater? Let's say it is. Well, then which of these islands was the island we started on? Is it the one in that I'm about to click on? Is it the one on the top left? I'm not even sure Riven has 5 islands. Although we are maybe on the 5th island. 1, 2, 3. We're like on the 4th, I think. And we hear pumping, and we see water moving. And I don't get it. Like, when I start to think about areas where water might play a part or a role, and moving water might be helpful, I can only kind of think of one place. The beach. Maybe the crater lake. We do, however, know that one track we get on that goes underwater, we now know how the water is magically being repelled. It's just by the application of heat. Let's see. Well, we've got some places to go. There's more of these creatures, and we're hearing water play. So I kind of wonder if maybe I could drain the water back down in this section. And I was only slightly getting the edge of that because apparently this has been broken, but it doesn't matter. Whatever connects these telescopes to those opening has now opened number 4 of the linking books. However, we still don't know the combination. Or to be more accurate, we know the combination, we just don't know how to read the combination. We know it's a number system between 1 and 5. So, like, where is it that we found it? We were putting book things down here in 25, I believe. So, I believe right there might be the combination. No, actually, it's right here. Right here we have the combination written. So, but even 5 different symbols between 1 and 5 is still probably 5 to the power of 5. Maybe to the power of 5 again. So I don't feel like I can brute force that password that easily. There's... what is this? It's just this arrow or element just sticking out. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's just like a rock sitting out, sticking out. Just to be jutting out. And in here we go. And we'll see what's here. Let's see. We've got yet another toy. So this button seems to let me select an island and put it somewhere else. Interesting. So this feels like this is going to be a run backwards and forwards puzzle, where the idea maybe is to get all of these in the right orientation, but I'm not sure any of them are not in the right orientation already. Yeah, they seem like they're all in the right orientation in the first place. And I seriously doubt I just twisted the islands, that every island would have the ability to change. So let's hit this and go over to this one. And see what this does. Like, it doesn't really do anything here, but maybe it does something over here. Interesting. Now we can load in different portions of that map. But what am I solving by doing this? Like, this feels like it's a detailed topography puzzle. Like, am I trying to find something that's so tall that it would hit the thing? Or am I trying to find something that might be hidden on one specific spot on the map? See, here's the problem is since you don't know what you're trying to find, you don't know what you're trying to do. And while we've made moderate amounts of progress, on top of the fact that we spent 20 minutes reading the book, this is not where I think I need to be. Unless there's some step here that I need to do. Honestly, I'm not even sure. Like, maybe this is even added on content. Like, I don't know. The problem with this topography map is if its intention was to show me something, I kind of need to have an idea of some non-man-made objects that would have been built into this. Something that would have given me a landmark of some sort. Let's see. Here's a basin. This almost feels like it's just this way so that you can like, see, it seems like there might be something there. It almost seems like this is just trying to reinforce your, like, we just saw from this. So it is a topography right now of the island we're on. What does that help? Is the water leaving? See, I really don't believe I'm changing things or actually have any control on anything. I thought this panel was a puzzle, but now I think it is just an interface to use, like, the water too is not changing in its topography to match the topography of this machine. See, this square section here looks to me like it is just a topography of the crater lake. So yeah, none of this looks like it does anything. It doesn't seem like there's actual control. This is just some kind of weird research location. And it looks like we've looked everywhere. Looks like we've done them all. So if there is supposed to be some kind of secret hidden element, I've missed it in my moving pretty fast. And I can't imagine that there's some way that I could climb or jump down that hole. Even though it does look like a tempting way that you might travel through in some other game. So here we've got a big round dome. So this must be the first island that we were on. And Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything. Let's see, I don't know if you really need to spin things. So you've got 2 halves of a dome. And clicking on something twice doesn't seem like it does anything. I think we're back to it's time to read the walkthrough again. Like there's been enough progress, I feel, for that. So let's save our game. That's gonna be it for this recording. I'm gonna look at the walkthrough and get back on track because again, we've done like 80-90% of puzzles and not gotten that last bit. Last time this happened, it was because of a simple thing, like there was a secret passage hidden behind a door that you had to close behind you. I imagine there's a very good chance that there's something like that again, and I'm just thinking too high-minded. There's probably something very simple I've missed. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.